Prepare for trouble and make it double. To protect the world from meme infestation. To join all people of the YouTube nation. To denounce the evils of trolls online. To extend my voice through space and time. Grant. Team Treesicle, blast off at the speed of light. Surrender now or prepare to fight.
Ryan, that's right.
Alright, my Jesse impression could use some work, but I'm back with some more Pokemon stuff. And this time, I'm taking on Team Rocket, and the other teams too. If you ever watched the Pokemon anime, you certainly remember Jesse and James, the numbskulls of Team Rocket that were always trying to catch Pikachu, followed up by, "We're blasting off again!" every time. While Jesse and James do give off the bare bones idea of what Team Rocket is all about, the Team Rocket in the games is far more formidable. Team Rocket was led by the Viridian gym leader Giovanni, whose ultimate goals boiled down to wealth, status, and power. Jesse and James had the same goals, they just sucked at getting them. But Team Rocket as a whole was a strong clandestine organization. They were powerful enough to take over the Sylph Company, one of the largest companies in Kanto. Remember that ransacked house in Cerulean City? This fat guy lost his dig TM to those bastards. Footprints? A blasted hole in the wall? Damn you, Team Rocket, you're too good. Ahem. Only when Red beats Giovanni on 3 separate occasions does Giovanni reevaluate his life and disband Team Rocket to pursue being a trainer once more. Yay, good for him. The bad guy found his good side and everyone lived happily ever after. Except, that's not the case. Because in each Pokemon generation, a new team has popped up. And just because they're all villains, that doesn't mean they're all the same. On the contrary, the evil teams of Pokemon have changed over the years, evolving both in desires and ideals. Giovanni wanted rare and valuable Pokemon so he could sell them and use them for himself. Through these goals, he gained power and influence and a hefty sum of wealth. But then, Red beats him and Giovanni goes off on his own to become a better trainer. Then, 3 years later, there's a resurgence of Team Rocket in Johto, most likely started from the Team Rocket group in the Sevi Islands that we fight in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. The resurgence of Team Rocket is cut off at the neck, with Ethan fighting Team Rocket's admins in the Goldenrod radio tower to take down the team before they can call Giovanni back to lead them. However, Ethan was unsuccessful at stopping their attempts, and in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, Ethan and Lyra are taken back in time by Celebi to fight Giovanni and destroy his confidence once again, ensuring that Team Rocket will never be revived. So overall, Team Rocket was a group of thugs and thieves. Under Giovanni, they were capable villains who stole and gained money and power until Giovanni left them. But does this description fit the other teams from future generations? Or have the villainous teams of Pokemon evolved in a unique way over the course of 7 generations? To answer that, shut your meowth and wabba some fet as we blast off into the story. You never know. I'm sure you're already thinking, Grant, literally everyone knows the story of Team Rocket. Also, my mom and dad were Jesse and James for Halloween last year. Can you explain why my dad was Jesse and my mom was James? Well, confused compadre, sometimes mommies and daddies like to cross-dress because their sex life isn't great and they get a kick out of traumatizing their children. But if you think you know everything there is to know about the villainous teams of the Pokemon universe, you're quite mistaken. Take Team Aqua and Team Magma, for instance. While Team Rocket's goal was world domination through power and wealth, Team Aqua and Team Magma attempted to achieve a different goal through different means. Where Team Rocket steals and cheats for evil, Team Aqua and Team Magma thoroughly believe what they are doing is good. Team Aqua believes in expanding the world's amount of water in order to create a more peaceful and perfect world society that humans cannot destroy. Magma had the exact same plan, except they wanted to expand the amount of land in the world to create a more perfect and peaceful society for Pokemon and humans. Obviously, neither of these plans are very well thought out, but at the end of the day, both teams are just eco-terrorists, foolishly attempting to help the planet while not understanding the symbiotic relationship that is necessary between land and water. In their respective games, the leaders Archie and Maxie both realize their perilous mistake when they awaken Groudon and Kyogre. These legendary Pokemon either produce too much sunlight or too much rain, disrupting the necessary relationship between land and water and putting the entire world at risk. So of course, we fight the legendary Pokemon and catch them or make them faint and save the world. Meanwhile, Maxie and Archie learn the valuable lesson that sharing is caring. Like, no shit guys, didn't Miss Wormwood teach you that in kindergarten? But let's get back to Team Rocket for a second to compare. Team Rocket is all about wealth and power. They have literally no good intention whatsoever. Now, in the third generation, we have good, albeit misplaced intentions, with a plan that will fuck up the world pretty badly. At least Team Rocket was never gonna kaboom the world, just rule it. There must be something we can take away from learning about these dastardly villains. If only sticking around till the end of the video revealed the truth. So we got the team from Gen 1 and 2 that wants to rule the world, and the teams from Gen 3 that want to save the world but end up almost destroying it. Let's get to the team from Gen 4, Team Galactic. Oh boy, if you thought these first three teams were something, get ready for the ridiculousness of Team Galactic. They aren't trying to rule the world, or save the world. Nope, they straight up want to destroy it. And by it, I actually mean the universe. Yeah, the universe! Team Galactic is the most drastic of any of the teams thus far. Their entire plan is to wake up any one of the 3 legendary Pokemon of creation. This trio consists of Dialga, legendary Pokemon of time, Palkia of space, or Giratina of antimatter. I guess if you summon one of these dudes, you can destroy the entire universe and create a new one? Cyrus is Team Galactic's leader, and this dude got seriously fucked up by his parents. Despite being a smarty pants, he didn't live up to his parents' expectations and felt rejected by them. His rejection combined with his antisocial habits led him to believe that emotions were the cause of all strife in the universe. From that revelation, Cyrus decided to work towards creating a new universe, one without emotions or spirit, which, in his eyes, would lead to the end of fighting and despair. Upon creation of his new spiritless world, Cyrus planned to make himself a deity to all those who lived in it. In reality, what we are seeing here is a child that was not properly loved or cared for. Cyrus felt rejected by his parents, and in a larger part, the world. The emotions he regularly felt were not of love, friendship, or companionship. Being without these necessary feelings took a toll on Cyrus, creating the philosophy that emotions are weak and create all strife in our world. Cyrus ridicules the player for the bond they have with their Pokemon, calling all emotions a useless sentimentality. If only he was brought up in a home where his parents gave Cyrus the love and nurturing he needed. Perhaps he would have turned out alright. Anyway, Team Galactic is fucking crazy and they suck. It's kinda weird that Cyrus was able to actually gather a following behind him considering his less than perfect social skills, but I guess the game wouldn't be very good if the main villain couldn't get any followers. So yeah, that's Team Galactic in a nutshell. Lonely smart people trying to create a new universe so they don't feel alienated. Cyrus is the ultimate sad emo boy gone wrong. That brings us to Team Plasma, which is all sorts of cray-cray. The leader of Team Plasma is said to be N, but in reality it's a mentally unstable dude named Getsis. At first, Team Plasma says that their entire plan is to separate humans from Pokemon. So they're like animal rights activists or something. And hey, that's cool. I hear PETA has some job openings. But in reality, they are trying to obtain all the Pokemon in the Unova region for Getsis. Getsis's full plan is to get all the Pokemon in the region, then dump the rest of Team Plasma so he can finally rule the entire region himself. He is defeated by the player, only to show up again in the sequel where he has an even wackier plan to freeze the entire region and steal all the Pokemon while the region is frozen over. Of course, he needs a sweet legendary ice dragon to pull this stunt off, so the player defeats him and captures the legendary Pokemon, saving the day. Getsis then literally goes mentally insane, rendering him unable to threaten Unova ever again. Getsis is an interesting choice for a main villain. His plans aren't quite as diabolical as his predecessor Cyrus, yet his mentality is actually more villainous and deranged. All our other antagonists have been fully in control of their mental capabilities, but Getsis is pushed so far by the player that he actually loses his mind. In some ways, he may even be more villainous than Cyrus because of his illogical ideals. At least Cyrus understood the need for logical thought, but Getsis's plans don't seem to follow what is logical. Instead, he seems completely deranged. But Getsis really does seem tame compared to Team Flare's objective. Team Flare, whose boss is Lysander, initially aims to make a beautiful world. Well, that sounds pretty nice. I mean, I could finally get a tan. Maybe get some colored contact lenses. Ooh, making a beautiful world means destroying everyone who isn't a member of Team Flare? Including all Pokemon? Damn it, Lysander! Well, Lysander believes that Pokemon, while magnificent beings, are condemned to be used by humans, and for the greater good, are best annihilated. Well, that's not quite as happy, is it? Lysander plans to obliterate all life besides those in Team Flare with an ancient weapon that is fueled by the life energy of the Pokemon Team Flare steals. That's some crazy shit! Of course, this super ancient weapon is being powered by a super ancient legendary Pokemon, which is either Xerneas or Yveltal, depending on the game being played. So as per usual, the player catches the Pokemon, the villain gets sad, and then blows up the building they're in, never to be seen again. Do you see what's happening here? Do you see what Game Freak / Nintendo / if you actually got mad at us for saying Nintendo in our last Pokemon video, then go duck yourself, is doing here? It's the Super Saiyan Persuasion! Oh my god, my analysis is over 9,000! Let's break down exactly what I mean. We'll get to Team Skull in a second, but check out what happened to the villains' teams in each generation. Team Rocket wanted money and power, but they never went to extraordinary measures to get it. Team Aqua and Magma wanted to help the world, but were misguided in their attempts and nearly destroyed it. Team Galactic wanted to recreate the world with them at the helm. Team Plasma was a front for just one mentally unstable man who wanted to both control the world and destroy it. And Team Flare wanted to destroy all life except for themselves. Each iteration of Pokemon villain is a level up from the one before it, particularly when you look at the bosses of each team. Giovanni was actually persuaded to go back to being a good Pokemon trainer. Maxie and Archie were just misguided in their attempts to make the world a better place. Cyrus is the first character who fully seems under the category of evil, and even then it's because of his past. Ghetsis was a full-fledged evil boob that destroyed his own mind, and Lysander was the ultimate bringer of destruction with a plan to wipe out all life except for him and his subordinates. This effect of taking the antagonist one step further from the one before it shall henceforth be declared the Super Saiyan Persuasion! Remember when Goku went Super Saiyan and we were all floored about how awesome it was? And then he went Super Saiyan 2 and we were like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then he went Super Saiyan 3 and Super Saiyan 4, and by that point we were all like, dude, cut your hair, bro. The exact same thing happened to the line of Pokemon villains. Game Freak, or Nintendo, realized that for every iteration of Pokemon, the new villain had to trump the villain's plans from the previous generation to keep the games exciting and fresh and better than the last. They had to keep leveling up their antagonist over and over again to make the next boss even more evil and more ridiculous than the one before it. And they've realized they can't go any further. Enter Team Skull. Team Skull is the result of the Super Saiyan Persuasion. They're really funny and quite harmless overall, and spoiler alert, like seriously, stop this video right here and fast forward 10 seconds if you don't want to be spoiled. They aren't really the true villains of the game. They're just hilarious comic relief for really hardcore M&M fans. We should expect future Pokemon games to slowly build up the evilness of the villain teams over time as the new generations of Pokemon come out. Team Flare was the end of the evil villain ladder for the past Pokemon games. Now, with the evil bar set at an all-time low, expect Nintendo Freak to add diversity and character development to the villains, like what we saw with Archie and Maxie in Gen 3, and the Super Saiyan Persuasion will begin all over again, slowly building up until it's impossible to go further into evil. Then, Pokemon villains will be reset once more. You might say that Pokemon's villains turned over a new leaf. Green. And that's the story. You never know. But wait, don't go! We need your help. We want your opinion! Right now, Treesicle is too much of me talking to you and not enough of you talking to me. So let us know what you thought about this video. Really, we want to improve our content, so leave a like if you like this or a dislike if you didn't, and leave us a comment telling us what you did and didn't like. Also, check out a new show concept we tried earlier this week where we roast the new Alola forms of Gen 1 Pokemon, and let us know whether or not you enjoyed that show too. We're really interested to see what you guys have to say, and we'll be looking over the comments a lot. So now's your chance to tell us what you think. We're all ears. Alright, I think that's all I have for today, so I'll talk to you in the next video. Hey, yo, you should subscribe, but you don't have to. It ain't no bribe.